Picture this. You're stuck in traffic, complaining about being 5 minutes late, while somewhere in ancient history, a man named Job lost everything he owned, all 10 of his children, and his health in a single day. Yet he never once cursed God. What Job discovered in his darkest hour will completely transform how you view your daily struggles and complaints. This isn't just another Bible story. It's a masterclass in gratitude that modern psychology and neuroscience are only now beginning to understand. If you're ready to discover the secret that turned history's greatest sufferer into its most grateful man, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and let's dive into a story that will change your perspective forever. The supreme example of patience. In the land of Uz lived a man whose integrity was legendary throughout the ancient world. Job wasn't just wealthy, he was what we'd call today a billionaire philanthropist, owning 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, and employing hundreds of servants. But here's what made Job truly extraordinary. Despite his immense wealth and success, he started every single day with prayer and sacrifice, not for himself, but for his children. Ancient texts reveal that Job would rise before dawn, offering burnt offerings for each of his 10 children, just in case they had sinned in their hearts. This daily ritual of intercession shows us a man whose priorities were crystal clear. God first, family second, wealth third. The day everything collapsed, what happened next defies human comprehension. In the span of a few hours, Job received 4 separate messages of catastrophe. First, raiders stole his oxen and donkeys, killing his servants. Before that messenger finished speaking, another arrived. Lightning had struck his sheep and shepherds. Then came news that Chaldean raiders had taken his camels and murdered more servants. But the final blow was devastating beyond measure. A great wind had collapsed the house where all 10 of his children were feasting, killing them instantly. Archaeological evidence suggests that ancient Middle Eastern storms could indeed generate winds powerful enough to collapse stone buildings, making this tragedy both supernatural and terrifyingly real. Job doesn't complain. He prays. Here's where Job's response becomes absolutely stunning. Instead of cursing God or demanding answers, he tore his robe, shaved his head in mourning, and fell to the ground in worship. His words echo through millennia. The Lord gave and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. But Satan wasn't finished. Job's body became covered with painful boils from head to toe, and even his wife urged him to curse God and die. Yet Job's response reveals a profound spiritual truth that modern believers often miss. Shall we receive good from God and not receive adversity? This wasn't passive resignation. It was active faith, choosing gratitude over bitterness. When God speaks from the whirlwind. After 37 chapters of dialogue with his friends, God finally speaks to Job, but not with explanations or apologies. Instead, God asks Job a series of questions that reveal the vast difference between human understanding and divine wisdom. Where were you when I laid the foundation of the earth? Can you bind the chains of the Pleiades or loose the cords of Orion? These aren't rhetorical questions meant to shame Job. They're invitations to see reality from God's perspective. Interestingly, many of the natural phenomena God describes to Job, like the behavior of ostriches, the migration patterns of birds, and the structure of the cosmos, align remarkably with modern scientific discoveries, suggesting divine knowledge far beyond ancient human understanding. The restoration and divine vindication. What follows is one of the most beautiful reversals in all of Scripture. God not only restores Job's health and wealth, but doubles everything he had lost: 14,000 sheep, 6,000 camels, and 1,000 yoke of oxen. He receives 10 more children and lives to see 4 generations of descendants. But here's a detail most people miss. Job's 3 daughters were considered the most beautiful women in all the land. And unusually for that time period, Job gave them an inheritance alongside their brothers. This wasn't just restoration, it was elevation to a level of blessing that exceeded his original state. For those seeking deeper spiritual insights like Job's, our ebook, 50 Saints, Stories and Prayers for Divine Intervention, contains powerful accounts of holy men and women who, like Job, found extraordinary grace in their trials. You can find it in our store below. The golden lesson: stop complaining. Modern neuroscience has discovered something remarkable. Chronic complaining literally rewires our brains for negativity, while gratitude activates the same neural pathways as antidepressants. Job understood this principle 3,000 years before science caught up. When we complain, we're essentially declaring that we know better than God how our lives should unfold. But when we choose gratitude, even in difficulty, we align ourselves with divine wisdom and open our hearts to receive grace. St. Paul later echoed Job's wisdom when he wrote, "Do all things without grumbling or disputing," understanding that our words shape not just our attitudes but our utter spiritual reality. Conclusion: Job's story isn't just ancient history. It's a blueprint for modern living that can transform your daily experience. The man who lost everything and gained it back, doubled, teaches us that gratitude isn't a feeling we wait for. It's a choice we make regardless of circumstances. Every complaint we voice is an opportunity missed to practice the kind of faith that moves mountains and opens heaven's storehouses. Starting today, I challenge you to live like Job for just 24 hours. Choose gratitude over grumbling, praise over complaining, and trust over anxiety. Share this video with someone who needs to hear Job's message. Subscribe for more life-changing biblical insights. And remember, gratitude isn't just good theology, it's the language of miracles. When you speak it fluently, you'll discover that even your trials become testimonies, and your struggles transform into strength.